So as I've been reading and praying with the resurrection accounts here, the church gives us here as we still celebrate Easter Day. Like, it's just, I hope, hopefully you're not scandalized by this. Of like, hey, if you're a priest, maybe you shouldn't be so amazed by this. But it's just amazing of how alive Jesus is. Like, like like the gospel. I mean, how alive Jesus appears, and not how he appears to them, but how alive he really is to the apostles in the room. The language that's used, that he stood in their midst, that he ate food. And not only in the gospel and the resurrection accounts, but also we hear it in the Acts of the Apostles. Even though his body's not there, what still happens? Healings take place. How is it done? Everyone's amazed. How's it done? By the name of Jesus, the one that you killed, that rose from the dead. And I keep going back to the question for myself, like, how much do I really know and believe and live in the mindset of how alive Jesus is? Do I really grasp to the extent that I need to, that I should, that Jesus is inviting me into, and how alive he is, how real he is? And what change and result would that be in my life if that was deeper? And one of the things with the gospel today that came in prayer was like, I don't think we would be as startled, horrified, startled, terrified, and troubled. Those are the three adjectives used in the gospel. They were startled, they were terrified, and they were troubled. Because those, lack of peace of soul, lack of peace of mind, I think comes about. Like, that's one of the things that fill the vacuum when we don't grasp how real and alive Jesus is. In comes being terrified, in comes being startled, in comes being troubled. And so what do we see Jesus do? He offers them peace. And I came across a quote from St. Gregory of Nazianzen this morning. He says this: "We should be ashamed to dispense with the salutation of peace." He's talking about the salutation that Jesus gives today in the gospel. "We should be ashamed to dispense with the salutation of peace. Salutation the Lord left us when he was going to leave this world. Peace is a name and a substantial thing emerging from God." Notice the tense. It's not peace is something that emerged from God, but Jesus is alive, and peace is something that is emerging from God today for you and me. It's the resurrection of Christ. It's the fact that he's alive that recovers peace of mind and peace of soul for us from all those things that maybe cause us to be terrified, startled, and troubled. And so, again, like, just how alive, question for us, how alive do I know him to be? How alive do I know him to be? That he really gives peace, and that peace is something that is emerging from him today, now, for us. In any area in our heart where we're troubled, we're terrified, we're startled.